Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode where we are decoding real motherhood. So we got a couple articles for you to share. First one is saying I'm sorry, modeling good behaviors and giving myself grace. And then the other one is motherhood perfection. The first one comes from a contributor, Brittany Ross Prophet, and she says, let's face it, I mess up with my kids a lot. As a parent, I don't always say the right thing or have the right tone when I'm speaking to them. Some days I have the patience of a saint and can get through the day easily. Other days I royally screw up. One of my twins is really having a hard time with potty training, specifically going number 2. And I have been dealing with it a lot the last few weeks. She freaks out, whines, and pulls at my clothes. When I take her to the bathroom, she either acts like she's being tortured through screaming or saying no repeatedly, or wants to play. This process has absolutely exhausted me, and I'm at the point where I'm almost completely lost my patience. Not only do I feel drained by one potty training kid, but I've also got 2 other young children to care for at the same time, at home, alone. Feeling overwhelmed, I lose it in front of my kids. I revert to a childlike state. I yell, stomp my feet, and wag my finger, very similar to a child that isn't getting her way. All of this while she looks at me devastated. The other 2 kids confused. Writing it out, getting angry over something my child is struggling with seems ridiculous. How could I do that? Instead of dealing with my own feelings about the situation, I lashed out at my child who didn't deserve it. I was so disappointed in myself to the point where I felt extreme guilt and shame. I decided to take a few minutes to breathe. I sat in another room, alone, with all 3 kids were fussing and screaming, "Mommy, Mommy, Mama!" It took me more than a few minutes to regain my composure and return to the kitchen. After trying to use all the tools I have been given in therapy, deep breathing, and other relaxing exercises, I came out and I picked up the twin that I had yelled at. I gave her a long hug and said with tears in my eyes, "Mommy is so sorry." I explained to her why I had gotten frustrated. She may not have understood everything I said, but I wanted her to know that she doesn't deserve to be treated that way. She's 2. She is unsure about how to use the potty. She was not misbehaving. I also told the other 2 kids that I was sorry for yelling, as I believe it is important to model what I want them to become. Someone that isn't afraid to say they are sorry when they screw up. I also want them to realize that just because I'm an adult, I am not perfect. A lot of times, children think their parents are infallible. We are not. Overall, I need to give myself some grace. I'm not a bad mom. Isn't it incredible how moms label themselves as being bad? Of course, we don't want our children to label themselves as bad for making mistakes. So why don't we extend the unconditional love we give to our children to ourselves? We tell our kids they are human. They will make mistakes, that it will be okay. But I must continuously remind myself that I'm not perfect. I am human. I make mistakes. I will own up to those mistakes and it will be okay. And tomorrow I will strive to do better. Great, great lessons for us. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this content, make sure to click the like button, share with a friend, and hit the bell to subscribe and be notified when we have new stuff to share. Doesn't cost anything, so why not? I was recently gifted a box of Magic Mind. It is a wonderful little bottles, kind of like shot size, of magic ingredients that help you stay focused and be more productive without the caffeine rush. So I've been taking it alongside my coffee. It's nice because you don't get the jitters of pounding caffeine, but with having a family and pets and work, it is sometimes hard to stay energized. So taking it has been great for a couple different reasons. Taken alongside my coffee, I've had less coffee that I've needed to take, and also I've been sleeping better at night and sleeping more deeply. So we've got a cool discount code if you guys want to check it out. But I just want to go over some of the magical ingredients. There's matcha, which my teenage daughter is obsessed with. And there's also lion's mane mushroom that I had been reading a lot of benefits about and was kind of a little tentative about which kind I was going to try. Been doing all this research, so the fact that it was already in this blend was cool, and I got to try out the benefits. I also have type 1 diabetes, so the added benefit for me has been some tighter blood sugar control. So if that is something you are interested in, it's definitely been good for me. There's several other ingredients. Some of them are a little hard to pronounce. Then for your link and discount code, if you want to try it out yourself, you can go to magicmind.com/Jan, short for January, Motherhood Decoded. And this will get you 1 month for free if you subscribe for 3 months. And if you use code Motherhood Decoded, it's an extra 20% off, which gets you up to 75% off to try it for yourself. This is only through the end of January 2024. So Happy New Year, and let's all be productive together. And then the other one is Motherhood Perfection by me. And I actually wrote this back in 2015. It's one of my favorite posts I've ever written. You know those perfect moms? The ones who tell you pregnancy is such a magical and joyous experience every moment of those 9 or 10 months. That parenting is so rewarding all the time. The ones with the perfectly curled hair and the impeccable makeup who look like they make it to the gym every day, that never lose their patience or their calm. Yeah, that's not me, even though I did do my hair and makeup for all of you. I was miserable most of my pregnancy. My belly never got that cute, perfectly rounded shape like everyone else, and I could never sleep or shave my own legs towards the end. The crying of a colicky baby and the constant spit up of a lactose intolerant infant kept me in oversized old shirts and flattering shorts and tears of my own for the first year. As much as I love my child, sometimes I don't want to hear the word mommy one more time by the end of the day. I sometimes leave the house without ever looking at my own reflection in the mirror, and I wish I had the energy to get to the gym once a week, let alone once a day. Patience is a virtue that I am still learning, and there have been times when I've lost my calm. Just ask my kid. This may sound terrible to some of you, but as my own mother once told me after I had my daughter, this is what honesty sounds like. Yes, I love my daughter and would never trade her for the whole world. She gave my life a purpose I never even knew was possible. I love looking at her nose and toes that are just like mine, and her eyes and fingers that are just like my husband's. She makes me smile. She makes me proud, and she brings such unspeakable joy to my life. Although I would put a caveat that in the teenager years, sometimes it's more infuriating than joyful, but I still love her and would not trade her. I think some moms are afraid to admit that it isn't always easy. Motherhood is work, indeed the most rewarding work, but it's still work. When you bring a child into this world, you are entirely responsible for another human being's life. That is a huge responsibility, and I take that very seriously. It is exhausting at times when trying to mold and shape this miniature human, but I do it in the hopes that I will create a great addition to society one day. As stubborn and testy as my little one can be, she has the most tender and caring heart. She uses her manners. She's such a big helper. She brightens my day with her love, and she makes me a better person every day. No, I'm not a perfect mom, but I am a real mom. Striving for perfection is unattainable, but if I work on being a better me than the day before, hopefully my kid will turn out right. So thanks for listening to it, and if you have any other stories to share about getting real with motherhood, make sure to comment down below. Scan the QR code to be taken to our site and see all the new stuff that we put out every week.